Trinity Players presents Oh, That Lazarus, a lesson drama about pledging based on Luke 16. The set is simply a chair for the rich man who sits at a table. Chorus of vestry members are off to the side commenting on the scene.
There once was a rich man.
Enter rich man who sits at a table.
Probably an Episcopalian.
Who was clothed in purple and fine linen.
I hope they don't think shopping is sinning.
And who feasted sumptuously every day.
The rich man waves a goblet and a turkey leg about.
That can't be me, whatever you say. I avoid the all-you-can-eat buffet.
And at his gate lay a poor man named Lazarus.
Enter Lazarus, crawling towards the table. He begs for food.
Oh, the one that was buried in the dark cave and then ungratefully rose from the grave?
No, this is the beggar Lazarus.
Oh, that Lazarus. With all these names the same, I'm liable to get lost in the Holy Bible.
When it comes to names like Lazarus, the Gospels can be hazardous.
Hearing the gospel is just one of life's chores. Wasn't this that Lazarus who was
Full of sores.
Oh, beggars with sores are bores.
Who desired to be fed with what fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came.
Oh.
I never give handouts to deft rovers. I mean, you can do so much with leftovers.
And licked his sores.
Dog comes screaming over and licks the horrified Lazarus's sores.
Poverty, starvation, and dog breath on his sores. When misery comes, it never rains but pours.
He has to suffer something terrible. I mean, after all, it is a parable.
All this sort of talk makes me dyspeptic.
Did you hear about the atheist, agnostic, dyslectic who spent all night wondering if there is a dog? You know.
Yes, I know. Dog spelled backwards is God.
The poor man died and was carried by the angel to Abraham's bosom.
Lazarus dies.
Oh,
Dog howls. Then Lazarus rises up smiling and runs to Abraham. They embrace.
The rich man also died and was buried.
The rich man dies with great spectacle, falling off the table of food and rolling off to his grave.
What's next? After sores and beggars and canine germs, shall we hear something delicious about worms?
oh.
Marvelous stuff right after dinner. This story's the thing to make me thinner.
It's safer to taunt a really cross bull than criticize the Holy Gospel.
And Hades, being in torment, he lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham far off and Lazarus in his bosom. And he called out,
Father Abraham, have mercy upon me, and send Lazarus to dip his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am in anguish in the flame.
But Abraham said,
Son, remember that you and your lifetime received your good things, and Lazarus in like manner evil things. But now he is comforted here, and you are in anguish.
Is this fair? Just because the rich man didn't share doesn't really mean he didn't care. He voted taxes on the middle class. He was willing to spend other people's cash.
Oh, and besides all this, between us and you, A great chasm has been fixed in order that those who would pass from here to you may not be able, and none may cross from there to us.
Quite a fable. They're unable, as far as I can tell, to cross the gap between heaven and hell.
So he twists in a flame far from heaven. If I wanted to see people burn, I'd watch news at 11.
There's nothing quite so chastising as listening to a ghost advising.
Post-mortem spectral advertising is the best way to set them tithing.
One thing leaves me dissatisfied. Where did the dog go when it died?
All dogs go to heaven. That's holy writ.
You mean it's dogma?
Oh, just zip it.
The rich man said,
Oh, it's not done yet. The fire has the fat. You've burned the dirty tightwad rat. The moral of the story's swell. Pay up on earth or go to hell.
It closes with a moral that is perfectly satisfactory because, in fact, it has nothing whatsoever to do with me. So what more can there be?
I like the parables with animals, the talking snake, the dog who howls, the searching for the one lost ram, the pigs that turn themselves to spam. Though nothing has quite so much sass as Prophet Balaam talking ass.
Then I beg you, Father Abraham, to send Lazarus to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, so that Lazarus may warn them, lest they also come into this place of torment.
but Abraham said,
They have Moses and the prophets. Let your brothers hear them.
This seems too close to home. You give the dog a bone and it turns into a gun and points at you. Some fun.
We like our lessons few and far between. I hate it when they ask you to come clean.
That is the problem with divinity. It always finds this close affinity between what seeds you're sowing and where you will be going.
and he said,
No, Father Abraham, if someone goes to my brothers from the dead, they will repent.
Abraham said to them,
If they do not hear Moses and the prophets, neither will they be convinced if someone should be raised from the dead.
It asks not just for the tithing dime, not only money, but our time. A parable does more than pledges strive can to justify God's ways to man.
We all want someone dead to hit us on the head. A voice from the cold grave will make us all behave.
What if Christ came again? Would we be surprised when he preached and then we heard exactly the same word?
If meaning is the bone, our bones are dry. The moans of daily life drowns out even the biblical shout.
I've the bad feeling.
There's something I'm missing.
Perhaps we need not just to hear,
But listen,
if they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be convinced if someone should come from the dead, rise from the dead.
The end.
Okay.